Musician's Corner on Timeless and Irish with Billy Donegan.
There was a man living in my parish one time. Tom Maloney was his name. Now, Tom was a great footballer in his day, but didn't he spend all his youth running after a football? Didn't he forget to run after a woman? Before he knew it, the night came on him. There he was left all alone and lonesome. You'd say now, who'd marry the likes of him? Tom would be a bachelor now, the wrong side of 50. I suppose you could say he was an unclaimed treasure. His looks might be against him, but his bank balance was a distinct advantage. Well, who should come home from America at the time I talk about, honey? Nell Quaid's daughter caught, with two big lavricks of suitcases full of silken slips and knickers and all other sorts of finery. She'd a new coat, she'd a new hat, and she'd a handbag. 'Pon my soul, 'twas the size of a horse's collar. She'd all the girls at home driven cracked with finery next to her skin. They had no silken finery on their gibbles down to their knees, tied with hempen cord, and knickers made out of sunrise flour bags. But of course now, if the truth was known, Caught needed the finery. They say fine feathers make fine birds. Well, I'm going back now to the time of maid marriages, and an account of matrimony was rang between Tom and Caught, and she agreed to marry him. Now, the first time they met were on the steps of the altar. Oh, I can tell you things were different back then. There was no bit of smahawning going on then, or there was definitely no paw-darling going on. Not at all. The steps of the altar was the first time they met, and back to the house for the groodles and the goodie and the bit of wedding breakfast. And 'twasn't long before all the neighbours came in, and the music started, and the dancing and the singing and the storytelling. Well, the day went by in a whirldy-gee, and that night didn't the strawberries come in, bringing the mud of the 7 parishes with them, wishing good health and luck to the couple. And Tom and Caught didn't get a minute to themselves until it's time to go to the hammock in the room. Oh, sure, poor Tom, the same crater, he was very too looking backwards when it came to women. Sure, the same man, he couldn't string 2 sentences together in the presence of a woman. And what really held him back was that he suffered from, overactive feet, smelly feet. And, of course, he heard it in good authority that if he soaked the feet well in sultry water, dried them well, and apply a fresh pair of socks, and do this twice a day, but leave the socks on him full time, they said that was the answer. Well, Caught had her own problems. I suppose you could say she was backwards at coming forwards. And you see, what held her back was she suffered from awful bad halitosis. That's bad breath. And any of you out there that suffer from it will always know that it's worse first thing in the morning. Well, she had her trick as well. She heard that if she got up early in the morning, she'd set the alarm maybe for around 6 in the morning. She'd hop out of bed, she'd wash the teeth well, she'd gargle her mouth with salt and water, she'd hop back into bed, and sure Tom mightn't even know that she was missing. But nee, mar shielter beater. Things don't always turn out the way you planned them to. Didn't Tom wake out in the night, and didn't she realise that his sock was missing, and he started to panic, and he started to paw all around the bed looking for his sock, and in his panic didn't he wake up Caught, and Caught shot up in the bed, forgetting her bad breath. She turned over and she said, "Tom, love," she said, "are you looking for something?" Her breath nearly flattened him back in the bed. He said, I'm looking for my sock," he said, "but I've great fear you're after swallowing it."
Frances Kennedy, you're very welcome to Musician's Corner. Tell me, how does a Cork woman end up in Listowel?
Sure, some people have all the look, you know. I got a job in Listowel Hospital many moons ago, and I hardly knew where Listowel was. It was a place we'd passed through going to Ballybunnon. But I made no mistake, because I met my mate by Patsy there the first day I started. And sure, love at first sight. Sure, he'd leave me go no more. So that's how I ended up in Listowel.
So, which part of Cork do you come from?
I come from Fremont in North Cork. Fremont is a lovely little spot. Your other musician, Elmarie O'Dwyer, I see she was on there. Elmarie would be from Fremont as well. Fremont is a lovely little spot in North Cork and the Limerick border. We'd only be 5 miles from Drumculloher. Yeah, I suppose Fremont is like love. It is hard to find it and hard to get out of it.
Where did the love of, we say, storytelling and music and song and all the rest of it, where did that come from?
Well, I suppose we always grew up with it. My father was knocked out when I was young, so he would spend a lot of time with me and inside, and he'd be telling stories. And well, he'd be telling stories to the neighbours, not so much to me, like, but you'd be listening to it all and you'd be taking it all in. And my mother had a great face for a story as well, and there was always stories around us, so it was very easy to fall into it. And then they loved Damon Kelly. Oh my God, when Damon Kelly would come on the wireless, turn him up. And no, we just loved everything to do with stories or songs or music or anything in that line.
And when was your first outing on stage?
First outing on stage was many moons ago. I suppose Fremont had always great concerts in the village, and my sisters Mary and Helena used to play the guitar and the accordion. They used to do a lot of Charlie Pride, and my brother Paddy used to sing as well. So they'd sing at the concerts in the village, and I suppose I just fell into doing the bits in the concerts in the village as well. Not so much the storytelling, even that I do the odd recitation, or I'd be telling the stories to my friend, you know, or friends or something like that. But I just fell into it.
And did you take part in competitions?
Not really until later in life when I came to Kerry, and we do the score and that, and no, that it was fun. Well, we do scoring and organ Fremont as well. God, Billy, that's so long ago, I hardly remember it.
Now, you do your own shows now as well.
I do. Sure, it is great to be able to make people laugh. And look, we've toured with so many people and we've gone so many places. And then I was saying, I'd love to do a concert in Listowel and St. John's. And so many people were saying, why don't you do it? And it is very hard, you know, to bite the bullet in your own local place. And you would say, I don't know about that now. Would anybody come to it? Because I was so used to being part of a group. And sure, from the first one I did, sure, they couldn't get in the door. So it was simply wonderful. And it is great to make people laugh. Once you can make them laugh, you know, like, you know, to laugh is the business.
And obviously COVID now has put an end to your gallivanting out like that, but you are on Facebook.
On Facebook, we put different bits and pieces on Facebook. Sure, Facebook has kept everybody going during COVID, and yeah, there's an awful lot of people just sitting at home, nothing else to interact with, and they just want to interact with somebody when they couldn't come face to face with them. Like, I know it is nothing to the real thing, but at least you can interact some way, you can tell a story, and you can, you know, sing a song and brighten somebody's day some bit of a way anyway, and you brighten yourself up while you're at it as well.
And you do quite a bit of television as well?
I know, not a lot of television. But we do it, of course. Yeah, bits and pieces, you know, now if something comes our way. I was on with Mara and Dahi there twice, wasn't it? And we were on TV3 before Myself and Patsy does bits and pieces, so we will never say no to it.
How have you been coping with COVID?
COVID, lockdown, we were so used to not having a minute to ourselves. And I'd come in from work in the evening and we had to be here for a concert, we had to be there for a show, there was some charity gig somewhere or other, and all of a sudden COVID, there was nothing. And it was time to draw a bit of breath. But after so many nights at home drawing breath, we got very tired of it very quickly. And we got through it. We got through it, and I could always content myself anyway, so I think it worked out okay. Writing a few bits and reading a few bits, and time still flies. I don't know. It's the older we get. 'Tis like Mother Time picks up its skirts and runs, and there's only 6 months in every year.
And I'm sure you're looking forward though to getting back on stage again.
Oh God, yeah. Oh, the interaction of an audience, to say something and hear that laugh, or to see that thing in the eye. She's not going to say that. She's not going to say that. And the next thing, the big laugh, you know, like, and oh no, just to interact with people. It does, like, not alone their spirits, it does your spirits good. And I miss, you know, I used to do a share in nursing homes and things there now, and our patients and that, and I miss the interaction with them that you can't go into any place now, you know. But that's opening up one of these days now, and we'll be back and we'll be singing, you know, a few of the old time songs and the old time stories for the elderly again, and it'll be lovely.
So now tell us about your touring days.
Oh, touring days, they were fun days. Well, I suppose, first of all, we started out, we toured with Micheál Carr and Ceol Carré, and we were in the first tour of Australia. We did many tours of England with him, and we went to Cornwall, we went to, gosh, there were so many tours along the line. But we were the first group to traditional music to go to Australia, and that was just amazing because they were starved for traditional music there. And my husband Patsy was the MC in the group, and there was 15 of us in the group, and it was great fun. Do you know, went down so well with all the exiles, and we discovered in Melbourne you had the Young Irish that was going out there at the time, and this is I suppose the early 90s. And in Adelaide then you had ones that had gone out from England on the, what was it, £10 ticket or whatever at the time, and they were old and they didn't have the health to come home again. So oh my, it was so sad to see they lived their lifetime over there. They had everything there, but all they wanted to do was come back to Ireland. So that was a real eye-opener. And we went to America as well. We toured all the way, New York, all the way up to near the Canadian border. I was in Germany with a group, and of course we toured a good share of times with the Ramley House in England as well. And it was wonderful meeting the people, and sure, oh my, the reaction you'd get from the audience. Sure, Billy, you know yourself, you toured with the Ramley House, and sure, they nearly swallow you up. They want a part of you. And it's lovely to be able to bring that bit of Irishness there. There was one woman I think I met in Adelaide along the way, and she had left Ireland, I think it was 63 years before it. She said, I don't care what you say, just keep talking. I haven't heard that accent, she said, in years. And you know, she had everything. They took us back after. She had the swimming pool outside. She had a beautiful home. She had a family reared there. But all she wanted to hear was a bit of our Irish music and song and just the talking.
Your latest song has done very well. We Are All Related, I'm sure we are. Where did you pick up the song?
A friend of mine, she's called Maxwell, and well, she's O'Reilly Maxwell, and she's from up the country, and she wrote the song, and Fionnuala Maxwell, and it just, everybody is related. If you have a conversation with anybody, you'll know their cousin, you'll know somebody else was married to somebody else belonged to you. So I think the song has everybody, it rings a bell with everybody, it rings through, and there's a lovely kind of a happy kind of a thing with it as well. And and then Kerry Parents and Friends in Listowel, we were hoping to do it with the band behind me, No Strings Attached, and Kevin and that, but then COVID struck, so we had to go it alone and do it, and it has turned out great. We're loving it. Oh, we are all related through marriage or through birth, which either is a blessing or a God Almighty cause. And you could trace your lineage for what it might be worth. For in Ireland, sure, we are all related. Oh, me granny had the talent for the genealogy. Long before there were computers, she would trace the family tree. You'd call in for a visit, and before you drank your tea, to everyone you know you'd be related. Oh, we are all related through marriage or through birth, which either is a blessing or a God Almighty cause. And you can trace your lineage for what it might be worth. For in Ireland, sure, we are all related. My name it is O'Reilly, I don't know. Me granddad he was Riley, but his father had a no. And one of them refused the soup, and they were forced to go. So to all the travelling Rileys, I'm related. Oh, we are all related through marriage or through birth, which either is a blessing or a God Almighty cause. And you could trace your lineage for what it might be worth. For in Ireland, sure, we are all related. Hush your cousins on the radio, me granddad he would say. We hope that you'll become a singing star like her someday. Second, third or twice removed, does it matter anyway? To the famous Elna Shanley, I'm related. Oh, we are all related through marriage or through birth, which either is a blessing or a God Almighty cause. And you could trace your lineage for what it might be worth. For in Ireland, sure, we are all related. Now my husband's second cousin is my second cousin too. Before you raise your eyes to heaven, sure, it's legal true and true. And his brother's married to a sister's husband, sister who. Sure, what I'm trying to say is we're related. Ah, we are all related through marriage or through birth, which either is a blessing or a God Almighty cause. And you could trace your lineage for what it might be worth. For in Ireland, sure, we are all related. If you don't believe me, well, try it out someday. Pick a random stranger, a local or a stray. You'll find that you're related in the most peculiar way. And don't forget me in your will, 'cause we're related. Oh, we are all related through marriage or through birth, which either is a blessing or a God Almighty cause. And you could trace your lineage for what it might be worth. For in Ireland, sure, we are all related.
So there we go. We are all related. Fantastic song there from Frances Kennedy, our guest today. Frances, is there anyone else you would like to say hello to?
Well, of course, all the patients in Listowel Community Hospital and in St. Joseph's. I've worked there for 35 years until last year. And my darling Patsy Kennedy that kept me in Listowel. We were married 35 years as well this week. So we have great celebrations, and of course to all my family, they're gathered between Cork and Kerry, and there's 11 of us there. I'm the youngest, so they're all over the place, and hello to you all.
Frances Kennedy, thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you, Billy. It's been a privilege.
Musician's Corner on Timeless and Irish with Billy Donegan.